Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you had a great weekend. It is 6 o'clock, and that means it's now time for our English Flash News edition. And as usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, 6 days a week at 6 p.m. In today's news, the two Socialist MPs who are on trial for the violence in Parliament failed to show up at their own hearing session. This led the court to a new decision for the upcoming hearing on the 23rd of February. If the two deputies again choose not to attend their hearing, they will be brought to court by force. The two MPs in question are under investigation for the physical conflict that took place in Parliament last year. They are accused of violence against the Democratic MP, Strazimiri. The MP, Claudiana Spahihu, testified today that she saw Deputy Arben Ndoka use violence against Strazimiri. She said that she did not personally witness any violence from Pierin Indreu. One of the guards who was on duty in the Parliament on that day was also called to witness. He stated only that there was confrontation between three deputies, but he was not present at that moment. The court session was commented on by the Democratic MP, Edward Halimi. He said that the absence of the Socialist MPs is a deliberate action in order to delay the court session. He supported the court's decision to take the two deputies by force to the next session. The electricity regulator made an announcement today about what is to be done in the case that excess electricity is produced in Albania. The regulatory authority has decided that in case of an overproduction of electricity, the Albanian Electricity Corporation is not to export energy, but rather to sell the surplus to the electricity distribution operator to cover losses in the network. The chairman, Petrit Ahmeti, explained that this is an opportunity for the operator to buy cheaper electricity. He said that in case of favorable situations, the electricity producers will sell energy to the distribution operator to cover the losses of energy that the company was obligated to provide. Regarding the selling price of energy last month, Ahmeti claimed that it was sold at the current market price. Recently, the opposition and the government have had a number of debates about the price at which the corporation has exported electricity. Today in the Foreign Commission, they discussed the new ambassador appointments. The candidate for ambassador to the Vatican, Visar Giti, has united the Democratic Party and the Socialist Party. Both sides appealed to President Nishani to sign the decree that would appoint the diplomat, poet, and former MP, Visar Giti, as the ambassador of Albania to the Vatican. The first to endorse the candidate to the president was the Socialist MP, Arta Dade, and after her, the Democratic MP, Josefina Topali, who was attending a meeting of the Commission for the very first time. The Socialist MP, Ben Belushi, was even more direct in his support. He encouraged the president to overcome the political barriers and to make this appointment. Mr. Belushi also objected to the statements from the representatives of the Catholic Church, who have opposed the candidacy of Giti due to his Muslim faith. The Catholic Church, through a statement from the General Secretary, said that it was not in fact against the candidacy of Visar Giti, but that it would have been better that the ambassador of Albania to the Vatican was of the Catholic faith. President Nishani defended his refusal to make the appointment, saying that he has made this decision because of the lack of consultation with the majority. Visar Giti preferred not to be a part of the argument over his candidature, but he gave the promise that if he is appointed, there will be a spiritual Albanian in the Vatican. The candidate for ambassador to Macedonia, Fatos Reka, was also present today during the meeting, as well as Bardil Tanai, who is the candidate for the ambassador to Israel. Prime Minister Edi Rama paid a visit to the city of Fier today in order to personally oversee the distribution of aid to the needy families there. Mr. Rama reiterated his promise that legitimate damage will be compensated. He met with the residents of the village of Faras, one of the villages that was harmed the most during the floods. He said, "I ask you all to have a little patience. The situation caused by the bad weather as you can see, is not good, throughout the region and in Europe as well. I saw an area in Italy that did not have electricity for 48 hours. We are on duty for you. Rama also responded to the accusations of the opposition that the government has not given aid, once again making the statement that the opposition has been flooded since June 23rd. The Democratic Party chairman responded to the irony of the Prime Minister on his Facebook account. He called the Prime Minister to stop putting on a show with the phases and plans that are not accomplished yet. He appealed to the Prime Minister to declare a state of emergency and to assign a budget for the flooded. He made the statement that Rama gave €200,000 for the floods in Serbia and Bosnia, but to Fier and Vlora, he is providing only words and show. The doctors held another protest today in response to the recent government decision to put them all through testing. For nearly an hour, the doctors of the Tirana hospital suspended their service to the patients and expressed their complaints through protest. The doctors say that the decision of the government to test them is a campaign to degrade them. The Dr. Triton Kalo says that the medical staff is working under the pressure of the Ministry of Health. He said, "It is not a test that defines the quality of a doctor. The doctors are tested every day through their work and their commitment. The problem must be solved through consulting with the interest groups, like the doctors and the health staff, to improve what is called self-qualification, or the improvement of human capacity. Improved medical facilities are also needed." The Dr. Albert Koya raised the concern of low salaries and asked for a 15% pay increase. Tirana was not the only city in which the doctors protested. The doctors of Lushnia protested for 30 minutes, and the doctors of Shkodra interrupted their service at the city hospital for 1 hour. Ora News asked the Ministry of Health about the testing of the doctors, and the ministry confirmed that the testing is going to be done. Regarding the demand for improved facilities, the ministry said that it has reconstructed a part of the hospital. The head of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Petrit Vasili, who is also the former Minister of Health, has spoken out against the testing of the doctors. He said that there should not be divisions within the healthcare system, and that continuous education is the answer, not testing. The Court of Tirana is expressing the need for an archive facility in order to keep their long-lasting case files. Many of the cases that the court examines are postponed for more than a year, and they say that they have no archive in which to keep track of these files. The leaders and members of the Supreme Council of Justice have conducted a one-year analysis of the Tirana court. Over 36,000 criminal and civil issues have been reviewed by the Tirana court in the last year. On average, a single judge in the court of Tirana reviews over 100 issues per year. The chairman of the High Court, Fatri Islami, made this statement: "We have had problems with the tribunal archives for more than 15 years. The old files are held in several different places, and there is no archive to store the files on cases that last for several years." According to him, the number of criminal cases in the court has increased, especially those related to the theft of electricity, corruption in the administration, traffic violations, and domestic violence. The deadline for the review of cases by judges was also discussed during the analysis. According to the court, there are many issues that delay the announcement of final judgments. Some of the historical monuments of Durrës are at risk of being damaged or destroyed and permanently lost to the public. Many of the historical monuments of Durrës are located close to the commercial buildings or in areas where they are at risk of being destroyed from natural factors. These at-risk monuments include the mosaic of Arapai, which dates back to the 6th century. The ancient church is also at risk, which is considered to have great archaeological value. These monuments have been closed off to the public at a time when there are many tourists visiting the city. The archaeologists suggest that there should be guides and publicity for these relics of the past in order to attract the interest of tourists. An Albanian author has been given a very prestigious award at the Jerusalem International Book Fair. The Albanian author Ismail Kadare was selected for this year's Jerusalem Prize, which he received during the opening ceremony of the fair yesterday. Prime Minister Rama expressed his congratulations to the writer, saying, "Whenever he is talked about or applauded, Albania is seen with respect." The famous Albanian writer has been the recipient of many prestigious literary prizes. He is also a candidate for a Nobel Peace Prize. That concludes our news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back again at the same time tomorrow with more translated news in English. Thanks, and have a great evening.